In today's society, we often forget how heavily we rely on fossil fuels. Natural gas, oil, and coal are all non-renewable resources that emit carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. They supply and support our electricity, transportation, and industrial processes. There are many ways that we, as individuals and as society, burn fossil fuels. When we drive, when we plug any electronics into an outlet, and even indirectly by sending and receiving letters and packages, shopping online, and purchasing plastic products. According to Science Daily, these emissions have increased by 3.4% per year from 2000 to 2008. Carbon dioxide is one of the main contributors to the greenhouse effect, which is a process in which thermal radiation gets absorbed and re-radiated in every direction. The thermal radiation causes an increase in atmospheric temperature. Now, many people believe that carbon dioxide is the cause of the increase in temperature, but this is a common misconception. Carbon dioxide is actually a greenhouse gas which trap the thermal radiation in the atmosphere. And this trapping of the thermal radiation by greenhouse gases is what causes the increase in overall atmospheric temperature. This increase in global temperature can have many effects on our planet, including the change in patterns and amounts of precipitation, change in ice and snow coverage, and change in sea level. Now, these changes can greatly affect our daily lives. There is scientific research that indicates that sea levels worldwide have increased by 0.14 inches per year since the early 1990s. So what that means is that since 1990, the sea has risen 3.22 inches. And that may not seem like a lot, but at this rate, there are many coastal cities, like New Orleans, for example, and low-lying islands that could eventually become completely submerged. And in order to decrease the rate at which this is occurring, there are certain steps we as individuals can take, like walking or biking instead of driving, and carpooling or taking the bus, or even just switching out the appliances in your home to be more energy efficient. These are all small things that we can do, but there's one even more important thing that we can do. Renewable resources are considered clean energy because they emit no carbon dioxide into the atmosphere at all. There are many types of renewable resources, and among the most common globally are wind, solar, and geothermal. These types are being implemented all over the world in places like Iceland and so many other European countries, El Salvador, and the US, just to name a few. These energies are already making a huge difference in the global carbon emissions, but because they are not as common or as popular as fossil fuels in society, they are not having as big of an impact as they could be. We have two potential futures for our planet. One with dirty, polluted air and melting ice caps and a rising sea level, which is an extension of the world that we live in today. Or we could have a world with clean air and the 4 seasons that we recognize, and most of all, we can have a society that doesn't have to adapt to major environmental changes. The choice is clear, and it's up to us as a society to execute. Since we are the ones who emit this carbon dioxide into the atmosphere, we are the ones who have to decrease it. It's causing an increase in the greenhouse effect, which traps thermal radiation in our atmosphere and increases the global atmospheric temperature. This increase in temperature causes things like rises in sea level and changes in precipitation patterns. By making small changes, we can make the Earth a better, cleaner place to live. Carpooling, walking and biking, using energy-efficient appliances, or even just turning off the lights and unplugging electronics when you're not using them are all examples of little things that we as a society can do to decrease our carbon emissions. However, the one big change that we absolutely need to make is to switch to a cleaner kind of energy. So write to your congressmen and women and keep your Earth clean by supporting renewable resources, both individually and nationally.